It's important that employers lead by example and show their commitment to safety in the workplace. As we mentioned earlier, that the person or a director of a company, which is an employer, must attend the Responsible Officer training course. It doesn't mean that an employer who is not a director should not also attend, from the point of showing their level of commitment in that workplace to all the employees and contractors and identifying and emphasising that they are committed to providing a safe working environment. Involvement by the employer and the employees is also very critical. Some places do have OH&S committees made up of employees. Certainly the Farmer's Guide has provision in it for recording hazards or injuries, and it's important that level of involvement by all parties be maximised to minimise the risk of accidents. The manual also has provision in it for identifying and managing risks and hazards. It's important that the various pieces of documentation within the manual are used, and not only should the documentation be filled in, but it should also be subject of discussion between the employer and employees, so that any risks and hazards are clearly identified and managed. It is important that they be assessed, and if there is costs associated, then they should be put in order of priority, with the items identified as highest risks being attended to at the earliest stage. Maintaining a safe working environment is also critical to the safety of all concerned. Equipment and chemicals should be fully maintained and stored correctly, so that there is minimal risk not only to the health and safety of the employees, the employer and contractors, but also to the environment. Periodical checks should also be undertaken, and we would highly recommend that this be done by a worker as well as the employer. The safety records and information are also provided in the Farmer's Guide, and there are a number of forms here that can be found in the appendix to the manual to assist the recording and follow-up of actions. If there is an accident and a safe work inspector calls, what is likely to happen is that if the injury is deemed to have been the result of faulty equipment or the like, or leaking chemicals, that a compliance notice will be issued, which will mean that the workplace will be given a certain period of time to fix it, usually around 14 days if that's reasonable. And if the equipment is seriously defective or the chemical hazard is high, then a prohibition notice may also be issued, preventing the use of that equipment and the chemicals.